everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unscripted on the All Sports, All Plays Network. What a time. What a time to be alive. But don't worry about it. We're going to get into that at a later topic. Let me go ahead and introduce these awesomely badass podcasters that we got lined up for you tonight. Starting off in the leadoff spot, we got none other than babyface Logan, who just evened up the series at one. Coming in the middle is Jonathan. I think my Dodgers can win, but I'm not 100% sure. Mathis. And in cleanup, to knock us all out of the park, is your boy, Big Shot Russ, right? What's up, everybody, and how are we doing?
What up, Jay? Sound those Timmy trumpets because we're ready for a good show.
Man, yes, we are. Hey.
Yeah, man.
Woo-wee.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, folks. Let's go ahead and get this party on fire. We're going to start off with just a couple of current events I want to kind of get out of the way. Brett Favre for a minute. If we can just have a moment to talk about Brett Favre. I'm going to say this, guys. Brett Favre sucks. Just straight up sucks. Sucks all the way around. Just sucks. You know, so he finally came out and defended his position. He gave his little 2 cents on everything that's going on. And you know what the man says? He denies it. He denies everything. Categorically denies it. No matter if there's evidence, no matter if there's emails, phone calls, he denies everything. He said that he has been unjustly smeared in the media, that he has basically, been the scapegoat for whatever's going on with the governor and Nancy New and everything else. And I got to be honest with you. He said, he says, I did not know what was going on. I did not know that the funds that was designated for welfare participants, recipients, were going to the university and going to me. Really? Because you're emailing the governor and you're emailing Nancy New. The only 2 people that have control over those funds specifically, and you didn't know. You're going to play the dumb card. What a time to be alive in the world that we live in today. Logan, thought process.
I said, I believe a few shows ago, Jay, that Brett Favre has now retired from sports and is now seemingly going into the world of politics based off of these accusations and him denying them left and right, saying, I had nothing to do with this. There's no proof. When there is, I'm sure, pages upon pages, transcriptions, emails, whatever, that he knew what he was doing, that he knew where this money was coming from, yet he did nothing to stop it simply because he wanted the school at which his daughter plays volleyball at to have a new stadium.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. That is exactly what he wanted. And he was stealing money out of welfare. Can you get much lower than that? Stealing from the people who need that money the most for your own gain just by making a nicer arena at the end of things. It's disgusting. It doesn't get talked about nearly enough on other platforms, whether it's like us or whether it's on bigger platforms, and it should.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just ridiculous how well he's denying it, even though there's all this evidence out there. Look, I got more respect for the man if he just came out and said, you know what, I screwed up. Here's what I need to do to rectify. But you're going to sit there and deny it, knowing damn good well you had every bit of knowledge. Jonathan Matthews, what do you think, man? How bad is this Brett Favre guy?
Yeah, this is bad. And to me, Brett Favre in this entire situation looks like a liar. I mean, how can we believe anything that comes out of this man's mouth? Of course, if you get caught or you get accused of accusations like this, you're going to deny it. You're going to try everything to make yourself look innocent, and you're going to do whatever you can to clear your name, even if it's some, tired BS that no one really buys into. Because I certainly don't buy into it. I think it's utterly ridiculous. I think Brett Favre should be ashamed of himself. Those people down in Mississippi are dealing with contaminated water, from my understanding, and there's more important things that need to be dealt with before they can even think about building a new facility because it's in the best interest of his daughter. Get the hell out of here, Brent Favre. Brent Favre was a player that I idolized, but I don't know how I feel about him anymore after something like this. And he was clearly stealing money from the state. He knew what he was doing. He knew where the money comes from, where the money came from. He could sit here and deny it all he wants. He could rebuke criticism of his alleged role in this welfare fraud scandal all he wants, but no one is buying the nonsense. Everyone knows what he was up to, and now he needs to pay the consequences for it, and he should be charged with criminal wrongdoing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I'm right. Hey, listen, I'm right there with you. Trust me, I'm right there with you. And then we're gonna get on the big shot, Rob, real quick, man. Hey, Brett Favre, man, what a joke is this guy, huh?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely gonna learn his lesson from this, and he's trying to do everything he can to deny it. If he really wanted to help people of Mississippi, he's got a lot of money. He should have just donated his own money. I don't know why he's taking money from people from welfare that need that money to live. Mississippi is one of the poorest states in the country. There's a whole lot of things they need to do to fix the state. If he loves Mississippi so much, you need to go out there and donate your own money or find ways to raise money to help the people of Mississippi. Don't be stealing money from the poor and trying to give it to other people that don't need it, or giving it to causes that don't really need it.
Yeah, and I want everybody to understand, when he says he didn't know, this is how bad it is. There's emails literally where the governor is telling Brett Favre, yo, Brett, this is illegal. This is illegal, Brett. You can't take this, but it's illegal to misappropriate these funds. And you know what Brett was like? I don't care. Give me the damn money. I don't care. And he told him several times, and Brett continued to say, I don't care in the emails. Now I'm paraphrasing it, but literally he's telling him it's illegal. And Brett's saying, hey, I don't care. What a time to be alive. This is the world we live in. Real quick, hey, Bronny now is among 5 to ink NIL deals with Nike in the hoops world. The other ones were Iowa's point guard Caitlin Clark, Stanford's guard Haley Jones, Sierra Canyon High School's guard Juju Watkins, and guard DJ Wagner. All 5 players are part of a Nike-sponsored school, and now they're getting the big Nike NIL deal. How crazy is that, guys? Logan?
Yeah, I'm proud of these guys, man. I mean, you listed a bunch of really talented athletes in high school and in college. Well-deserved, right? These are all going to be either high-level picks who are going to make a lot of money. And by inking, like you said, with that deal with LeBron and whatnot, that's just going to make it even more exposure for all of these talented individuals. So congrats on them getting that bag, and we will see how their careers continue.
Absolutely. John Suggs, hey, let me tell you something. Do you know how many times I almost won the lottery? A lot. But I'm still broke as hell. Jonathan Mathis, man, is this crazy or what? I mean, these guys are getting it in, baby.
It's crazy, but you know what? It's the times we live in, and hey, you know what? Every penny matters nowadays. So hey, if you can stack your bread, you stack it while you can. I ain't mad at them. I'm happy for them. I think this is great for young athletes who's looking to profit and do great things. And it's big money in this business now. So money making business. Hey, if I could get a deal with the Jordan brand, you know where I'll be. You know I'll sign with the Jordan brand in a heartbeat. So his dad already has benefited greatly from a partnership with Nike, and Bronny has been wearing his dad's signature shoe. So I think this is good for the young athletes. Hey, get that bag while you can.
Yeah, they call him King James, but I'm about to start calling him Casino James because just like a casino, that house has a license to print money. It's just ridiculous how much they're generating all the way down to his boy out of high school who probably just started shaving, and he's already got more money than I'll ever know. How amazing it is to be alive. Big shot Rob, baby, man. Damn, Bronny. Come on.
Yeah, I'm really happy for these guys. I'm sure they're going to get more money once they get into the pro level. But to start off, getting that type of money with the brand names like Nike, whatever other brand names they can get, I'm really happy for these guys to start their careers. And I just hope they don't make any mistakes down the road and they're wise with their money and what they do with it.
Oh, absolutely. And even if they're not wise with their money, well, when I say them, I'm really talking about Bronny. Let's be honest. Whatever money they gave Bronny for this NIL, Bronny can go out there, put it all on red, let the wheel spin, and be like, damn, okay. Because you know why? His daddy is worth mega. When I say mega, it's like mega. It's like a whole nother word to me, money. So I'm not too worried about Bronny. Bronny's going to be just fine no matter what happens in his life. Real quick, guys, Zion. Let's talk Zion real quick. He rolls his ankle against the Miami Heat in a game in which they lost. He's already listed as day-to-day now. We know the laundry list of injuries that Zion's been through to the point where even Zion himself says, damn, I knew the minute I rolled my ankle, Twitter was going to blow up. I knew the minute when I rolled my ankle, ESPN was going to blow up. And so he's not really giving a damn too much about social media because they're going to print what they want to print. They're going to say what they want to say any day of the week. But my question to you guys is, it is a day-to-day, so it's not significant. But are these not warning signs, this rolling of the ankle, are these not warning signs of a possible injury too? And I don't wish this on him, but I just look at Murphy's Law and his lack of success at being able to stay on the court. Logan, at what point do we say, hey, okay, it's a rolled ankle now, but what's it going to be 2 months?
I'm kind of taking this as an Anthony Davis approach in the fact that every time that man gets hurt, everyone assumes for the worst and that it's going to continue and snowball and snowball. Hopefully it does not happen. Like you said, he looks in tremendous shape like he did at Duke, and I hope he has a very successful season. But like you said, it is a cause for concern since it is the preseason, since he is still getting his legs back under him seemingly. And like he said, it's a rolled ankle. He's not going to miss a whole lot of time, and he is going to be back for the regular season. You just got to hope that his body can really – it's really, Jay, just his body getting adjusted back to life on the court again after being out for so long. And I'm not surprised we're getting an ankle sprain or an ankle roll. So just kind of small injuries like this, I would way rather have something like that as opposed to a major injury, 3 weeks down the road whenever the season starts. So hopefully he gets right, and hopefully his body gets adjusted back to a full NBA schedule, because I want to see this kid play a full season, man. He is electric.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan Mathis, is it time to roll Zion up in a big ball of bubble wrap and put him on the court?
Man, of course the media world is going to overreact to this injury. This is a guy who exploded through his shoe when he was at Duke. This is a guy who has, as you said earlier, a laundry list of injuries. So whenever he sustains any type of injury, everyone just pauses. The world comes to a complete stop, and everyone blows up Twitter about it. That's just the way it is with Zion Williamson, because he has shown time and time again that he cannot stay healthy. Well, I don't think it's time to push the panic button yet, because his coach, Willie Green, came out and said that his star player is doing fine and that the injury is not expected to be a long-term problem for Zion Williamson. So, I don't think you want to just set the alarm just yet. Give it some time. This is about being precaution. taking the precautionary actions necessary with your player because you want him to be at full strength by the time the season comes, or if he's not ready by the time the season comes, at least ready for the early part of the season where he's back on the floor so he can gel with his teammates, develop that chemistry, and learn his teammates a bit more. So I wouldn't panic just yet. He'll be just fine.
Absolutely. And then Big Shot Rob, Zion, brother, what are we looking at?
Rob, you're muted.
I'm about to say, I think he's muted.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he got hurt in the preseason. I wouldn't have really played him much in the preseason, but I know he has to get some action under him. But yeah, like Jonathan said, I think he's going to be all right. They're just going to test him out early, monitor his ankle and everything, make sure there's no further injury or any other further injuries. And yeah, I'm excited to see Zion play. Because this guy, like you said, is electric. He can dunk the ball. He can do like so many things. And I just want to see him play with C.J. McCollum and see how those guys do this year.
Yeah, absolutely. John Suggs says 0 for 5 so far. If they start 10-20 first 30 games, do you start to worry for the Bucks? I'm not worried for the Bucks, honestly. Even if they started at 10-20, maybe there's a little concern it gets thrown in, but this team is going to be in the playoffs, okay? They're going to, as long as Giannis is there, Middleton is there, and Drew Holiday, they're going to be in the playoffs. So, no, I'm not worried about it. We'll wait and see how they do come playoff time, but I don't see any cause to worry. Real quick, moving on. Last thing before we get into the show, we're going to talk real quick. Snyder, good God, what a man this guy is. What a product of society. Snyder is now saying that he is hiring his own investigators to dig up dirt on Jerry Jones, Roger Goodell, other owners in the NFL, and so forth. Well, you know what? Now he says he's got dirt that could blow up the NFL. Let me tell you something, Dan. When you start making statements like this and you start doing things like that, you know damn good and well everybody knows you're guilty. That's a sign of a guilty man. If this is your last-ditch effort to try to get back in good graces in the league or whatever, man, just like your team, it ain't going to happen. That's my little 2 cents on that. What a time to be alive. Logan Snyder.
Jay, I find this kind of interesting because, as I'm sure you might know, today is Jerry Jones's birthday. And it just so happens that Dan Snyder releases this information. Is it coincidence? I'm just saying. I'll keep it short. Get your popcorn ready because, my God, if what he's saying has any shred of truth to it, this is going to be very interesting.
Well, absolutely. And Snyder, like Anthony Price says, Snyder wants all the smoke. Well, he about to get the smoke. I just hope he has a really good fire extinguisher. Jonathan Mathis, Snyder.
Yeah, the bottom line here is that Snyder does have his own money to hire these people to investigate for him. There's no denying that. And now he's willing to dig up some dirt on other guys because he realizes that, he's running out of high-powered allies. I mean, it's just that simple. And, he feels that they know something about him. So now he wants to retaliate and make it known, okay, if you guys going to reveal some dirt about me, then I'm gonna come out and share my side of the story as well. So this could get very interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. Big shot Rob, man. Daniel Snyder.
Yeah, this guy is this guy Daniel Snyder is definitely one of the worst owners in the league as far as a douchebag. I don't like anything he's done. Being owner of the Washington football team, obviously changing the name. I know they had to do that, but to dig up dirt on other owners when you messed up, you shouldn't be doing that. You should just try to cover yourself up, but not trying to investigate what other owners are doing. That's none of your business. You handle your business with your organization, your players, and all that stuff, and not worry about other owners. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you with exactly what you're saying. And, Anthony Price, I think he said, if I can get my thing to show up quick, hold on. Logan, can you read what Anthony Price said? I can't read on my screen for some reason. Oh, there we go. I hope he got a lot of dirt on Jerry Jones. Yeah, you know what? Hey, listen, it's not gonna be hard to get dirt on Jerry Jones. Everybody got dirt, okay? Like I'm never know. Every damn one of them got dirt. You just saw the dirt with Dallas Cowboys. Wasn't the one of his assistants peeping in the cheerleaders' dressing room? I mean, so trust me, I'm pretty sure Cowboys got a lot of dirt. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist probably even to find the dirt. You could probably just go there and ask, and they'll just give you the whole file right there at the main gate. But it is what it is. Hey, guys, we're going to get into this college week 6 preview. I just picked out a couple of games. I think I picked out 7. We'll just kind of briefly go through them, get you guys' thought process. It is going to be a good week, I think, for college football. It starts out with Penn State, number 10 versus Michigan, number 5. Again, that's going to be a really good test, I think, for Michigan taking on Penn State. I think they both, I think the next time they get a ranked game, Michigan will face Ohio on the 26th of November, and Penn State will face Ohio on the October 29th. So for Penn State, this is a huge opportunity to get within the top 6. And if you can somehow pull off a miracle win over Ohio, well, now you're in the top 4. So obviously a couple of really big games in line for Penn State that could propel them to the top 4 if they can capitalize. For Michigan, if they win this game, it's just status quo, keeps them at 5, unless some of the other top 4 teams lose out. And then Michigan could slide up, which obviously, if you know, and we'll talk about this here in a second, but you got number 3 Alabama going against number 6 Tennessee. And if Tennessee could pull off the upset over Bama, and we know the weaknesses that Bama has had against Texas and Texas A&M, it's not too far off to say that Tennessee could get the win, especially if Bryce Young isn't at 100% if he does get the nod to go. So offensively, I think Michigan is better than I think Michigan's quarterback is better overall over Penn State's quarterback. And I think the wide receiver Bell and the running back Corum should have a big day going against Penn State. But big game for both. Honestly, it's a big game with lots of rewards or consequences. Logan?
Yeah, you're not kidding. This is going to be a really good matchup. I think we saw that Michigan, they didn't struggle against Indiana. They just had a lot of errors. They had some drop passes. They had just kind of weak play calling at some points. It was really their own demise and why it was such a close first half. And as for Penn State, like you said, they've been looking pretty good. There is, more and more criticism towards Sean Clifford, the quarterback, if he can get it done, if he can't. So we'll see how that goes. But I fully expect Michigan to win this bowl game. I think the running attack with Blake Corum is just too much, and they have a good defense as well. So I got Michigan winning this one.
Absolutely. Jonathan?
Yeah, my eyes will be set on the Tennessee-Alabama game. Man, I'm excited to see that game. I think if Alabama's not careful and if they're not up on their game, Tennessee could still win. I think Tennessee is a team that you're gonna want to watch out. You're gonna want to watch out for, particularly with the way Hendon Hooker has played. I mean, this guy's an absolute stud, and he has really carried the offense. They went in on the road, battle tested, and beat a very good LSU team. So I wouldn't let my guard down against Tennessee. I think Tennessee is playing good football right now, and I think this is the game where Alabama could lose. No.
Now, could you tell me about the Penn State-Michigan game?
Penn State-Michigan game. I think it's going to be close, but I think Michigan is going to do what they do best. I think they're going to pound the football. They're going to run the football effectively well, and they should pull away with the win, and they will remain undefeated.
Next up, Rob, Penn State-Michigan, baby. What's up?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close game. These are 2 top 10 teams. But I'll go ahead and give the edge to Michigan, being at home, playing in the big house. So I think Big Blue's going to pull out the win. Yeah, like Jonathan and Logan said, I think Michigan's going to run the ball, pound it. They have a good defense as well, and I'll take Michigan in this one. And then I'm looking at that Alabama-Tennessee game. Woo! Man, is that going to be a good game, man. I think that's probably the game of the weekend that everybody wants to see. And I'm going to go ahead and go with Tennessee in the upset, man. Alabama going to Rocky Mountain High. I think those fans are going to be wild and crazy in Tennessee, man. And I'm taking Tennessee to pull out the upset, man. I think Tennessee is a real team this year. They look legit, and they're going to beat Alabama on Saturday.
Absolutely. And Logan, now that we've kind of gotten through Big Shot and Jonathan on the Tennessee matchup of versus Bama, if you see like what Rob and Shot is seeing, and I think I'm seeing, if Tennessee does pull off this upset, which I think is very highly, again, and Michigan does pull off the win against Penn State, we're going to see a huge shakeup in the top four. And I think Bama is going to slip out and probably go 6 or something of that nature. What do you think?
If they lose this game, I believe they should. I really
Yeah.
do. Because I feel like this is going to be a really good game to judge just how solid Hendon Hooker and Josh Heupel, along with the rest of the teams, just those are the main 2 stars, how they're going to do, right? The brand new coach, can he go up against Nick Saban, mano a mano? And can Hendon Hooker, he does have an opportunity, Jay, because there still is no Bryce Young. It is going to be Jalen Milroe, it looks like, once again, who didn't look that impressive last week. Threw for a little bit over 100 yards, not that great. So if there was ever a chance to beat Alabama, and let's not forget ourselves, let's not kid ourselves, Tennessee is hot. Like, they are on fire right now. I still think it'd be a close ball game because Alabama's got that talent. But I think that Tennessee, this is the perfect time to strike for Rocky Top.
No, I definitely agree with you. And I think if there's no Bryce Young, then the X Factor, I think the X Factor, regardless if you have Bryce Young or not, that the X Factor in this game for Bama is going to be Gibbs at running back. And he's going to have a monster day to deal with Tennessee if Bryce Young isn't at full capacity, or if they go to their backup quarterback. They're going to have a whole lot of Gibbs if they want to pull off that win, and a lot of defense. Again, so then we turn over to Oklahoma State versus TCU, another big game in my opinion. Oklahoma State, as you know, I think they're sitting at around number 18. I think TCU, or either I think no, excuse me, that's Oklahoma. That's 18. Oklahoma State is number 8, and they're going against TCU at 13. And I will tell you, man, this is a very, very evenly matched game. If you ask me, if you look at points for and points allowed, that TCU and Oklahoma State are almost identical in those stats. I think TCU does have the edge in the rushing game. And especially if you look at, Baylor was the only team Oklahoma State has really, truly faced that's given them competition. TCU did beat Oklahoma 55-24. So that was a monster win at that point. And they also beat Kansas 38-31. So I think TCU has, number one, their rushing game's been on point. And number two, their stats are damn near identical to Oklahoma State. And they face more ranked teams that Oklahoma State has. So I got TCU at 13, edging out Oklahoma State and getting the win. Logan?
Yeah, this is also going to be a very good matchup between these two teams. Like I said, TCU has a very good team. They can run the ball. They struggled slightly this past week against Kansas, the Jayhawks, right? Only 144 yards on 31 attempts. Usually you'd see a little bit more than that, but they still got the job done nonetheless. And as for Oklahoma State, right, they got Coach Gundy, a vet. He's been there time in, time out. They have a good program. I think this is going to be another good ball game, but I might have to go with the Cowboys getting the W in this one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then Jonathan, what'd you think, brother?
Yeah, the Cowboys, man, they're well coached by Mike Gundy. I mean, he makes sure those guys are ready and energized. But they got a tough one this week against TCU. TCU is not an easy draw at all because TCU can run the football well. I'm just interested to see what Oklahoma State is going to do to slow down the run and how they will counter that and how they will effectively scheme for a very good TCU team that's looking to really, really continue to do amazing things this season and remain unbeaten. I believe they're 5-0 to start the season, 2-0 in conference play. So TCU is having a very good season. Let's see if they can keep the train rolling against a very tough Oklahoma State team.
Yeah, I agree with you. Big shot Rob, Oklahoma State, TCU.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with TCU in this one. I think it's going to be a tough game, though. I think these two teams know each other very well. I like Mike Gundy, how he coaches Oklahoma State. One thing I know about Mike Gundy is, man, I remember that one time he said, "I'm a man. I'm 40." So I'll never forget that about Mike Gundy. He's a tough-headed head coach. But yeah, I like the way TCU's been playing lately, and I'm gonna go with TCU over Oklahoma State in a close one. It's gonna be a close battle for sure, but I'll take TCU.
All right, we got two more games, and then we'll move on to the NFL. The next one's going to be number 15 NC State versus number 18 Syracuse. And if you look on paper, Syracuse really has not faced anybody yet until this game with NC State. On paper, stat-wise, Syracuse has the advantage on them. But I think we all know that NC State has played tougher competition, especially when you look at how they played against number 5 Clemson, losing 30-20. So I'm going to go NC State over Syracuse. Logan?
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. Give me NC State. I think Devin Lear is going to have a great game. He's due for it. He's struggled a little bit so far this season. I think he picks it up this game against Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Jonathan?
Yeah, give me NC State. I like them to win this battle. I think it won't be an easy one, but I think they'll pull it out. I think this will be a huge boost for the Wolfpack. I know they lost their quarterback, to an upper body injury, but I think they'll get the win.
Absolutely. Big shot, Rob.
Not so fast. I see all you guys picking NC State. I'm gonna go with the Orange Men in this one. I think the Carrier Dome is gonna be loud and pumping. I'm not too far away from Syracuse. I believe it's like in Central New York. So I'd like to see the Orange Men pull out the win. But I do know North Carolina State is a very good team and they're tough. They've played some good competition, but I'll take the Orange Men in this one.
Okay. Our last game, and I think it's also another important game, is number 7 USC versus number 20 Utah. And Utah at one point when we started out this season, up until when Florida beat them, they were a top 10 team. And then Florida took them out, and they've been trying to claw their way back in since the Florida loss. But I think that, they can claw, if they can win this game, hey, they'll be back top 10, I think. USC's first tough game of the season so far is going to be Utah. So that's going to be their first, in my opinion, true test. I think Williams performed better than Utah's quarterback, rising in both yardage, touchdowns, and turnovers. So that's going to be a pretty big thing, is how good USC's QB is over rising at Utah. And then I think Utah did lose the battle at the line of scrimmage a few times on the games I've actually seen on them. So I'm curious to see what Utah can do. But I think, if they can pull out the upset over USC, that would get them right back in the hunt again. What do you guys think, Logan?
Yeah, no doubt Utah has a good program. I think that they have a lot of tools necessary to win this game against SC. But there's just something about the University of Southern California right now, Jay. They're getting that feeling to them. Jonathan knows they've got that swag to them they haven't had in quite some time, with Caleb Williams, with Jordan Addison. So I got the Trojans getting a big win in this one. I think Addison's going to have a great game. He can maybe go for over 150 yards potentially.
Absolutely. We're going to it was Logan. Jonathan.
Fight on, baby. It's that Lincoln Riley effect. Lincoln Riley is 6-0 for the first time since the 1950s. The last head coach to do it, it's been in the 50s since the coach went 6-0 in his tenure to start things off. So I mean, it's been an amazing season so far for the Trojans. Caleb Williams is leading the offense down the field. He's an absolute stud. He's amazing, both with his feet and his arm. He's very mobile. He sees the field very well. He has great vision. He can scramble. He can elude pressure by time. The offense looks good. You see what Travis Dye is doing. He's running the football effectively. They're well coached, but Utah is well coached as well. Utah has a pretty good squad as well, and Utah's looking to get back in the wins column. So this is absolutely a test for the USC Trojans, but I think the USC Trojans will come out strong. I think they'll win. I'm not going to say big, but I think this game will be close. I think this will be their actual test to see who the Trojans really are, because this is the toughest game thus far on their schedule. But USC, they're ball hawking. They like to take the ball away from you. They like to force turnovers. They're good in the takeaway department. They don't always get the defensive stops necessary. So that's something to look out for against this Utah team too. But I got USC winning this game.
Yeah, just so you know, so Mr. Head 305 said USC soft as hell, laugh out loud. Yeah, it is what it is. Big shot, Rob, man. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I'm going to go with the Trojans in this one. I like the way they've been playing under Lincoln Riley. But Utah is a very good team. I think they play better at home as well. But, yeah, I'm going to go with USC to pull out a close one here. These Pac-12 games are always close, and they could be like shootouts. But I'll go with USC because I just think they have the advantage coaching-wise and with their players. Lincoln Riley's done a great job with USC, and I think they're going to get back to prominence in being one of the better teams in college football. And then we might see that later down the road with Texas as well, and also the University of Miami. You want to see those big-time programs good in college football. So I think if USC is good, Texas is good, Miami is good, we get Florida State back, it's going to be fun to watch college football again with all those powers
I agree.
back.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm right there with Mr. Head. I think I think USC is a little soft. I think me and Mr. Head agree that Utah is going to pull that out. So we'll see. Hey, it's going to be a hell of a good game. We're going to roll now on to the NFL. At this point, week 6 is what we're currently in. So we're going to preview real quick. I got to be honest with you, Thursday's game really has no merit or meaning to me. It's going to be Washington Commanders versus Chicago. I think it's going to be boring, subpar at best. I do have the Bears winning. Yeah, so I just think the Bears are going to get the win. I will say, look, they came out and asked Ron Rivera, what do you think about your team? And, the first word out of his mouth was quarterback. And, of course, they did construe it, saying that he was talking about the quarterback, Carson Wentz, being the issue with the team. But then Rivera comes out, tries to smooth over with Carson Wentz, saying, no, I just meant that at your position, you haven't been here long enough, and that everybody else has a slight advantage on you. So that's how he smoothed it out. But I think he had it right the first time. I think Carson Wentz is just not the right guy for this team. Certainly not the right. And I don't think Daniel Jones is either. That's why when I look at the Giants, even the Giants have an incredible record, but when I look at the Giants and the Commanders, I'm just not feeling it all the way in terms of the quarterback position. But that's my 2 cents. Logan?
Well, first off, Ron Rivera, brutally honest, something you don't say to the press. We should all know this. But also, I think, I'll take the Commanders in this one, Jay, just because of the stat I sent earlier. Carson Wentz is undefeated on Thursday nights. 6-0 in his career. I think it continues. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I think he continues that hot hand, and give me Washington tonight to give the locker room a boost, because, my God, don't they need it right now.
All right. Jonathan.
Washington, to me, they're just in a chaotic mess right now. You never, ever throw your quarterback under the bus. That is what Ron Rivera did. He threw Carson Wentz under the bus. Now, look, we know everywhere that Carson Wentz has been, he hasn't been that great of a quarterback, right? Either he's been robbed by injury, or he just makes the most dumbest play at the end of the game. Like he turns over the ball in the crucial moment. We know this about Carson Wentz, right? We know that he is not the right fit to be the quarterback there. And this isn't new. This is something that the Commanders have dealt with for years, not having the right quarterback, not even having the right coach. How about Ron Rivera look at himself in the mirror and turn the mirror on him and take accountability for why this team is playing so poorly? So I got the Bears winning tonight. I think the Bears come in there and the game's in Chicago, so I think the Bears win at home.
Absolutely. Big shot, Rob.
Yeah, I agree with Logan. I'm going with the Commanders tonight. I just think they have a better defense. They have better skilled players. Obviously, Logan Thomas is out tonight, as well as John Dotson. But they still have scary Terry McLaurin. They have Curtis Samuel. They have that three-headed running game with Antonio Gibson. They got Brian Robinson back. That was the guy who got shot earlier in the offseason. and they have J.D. McKissick, who's a very good pass down catching back. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Commanders, and I think Carson Wentz has definitely more experience than Justin Fields, and the stat that Logan gave with him playing well on Thursday nights is gonna prove it and show it. And yeah, I'll take the Commanders tonight, but I think it's going to be a close game, probably low scoring, defensive like game. Both teams I think have similar defenses, good defenses, but I'll take the Commanders to pull this one out tonight in Chicago.
Absolutely. John Suggs asked, should the Panthers give up the season and draft a quarterback Stroud? I tell you, I don't think they're going to give up anything. I think they naturally suck so bad that they're probably going to wind up in dead last, even if they try. Hey, I think it's either going to be Stroud or probably Young. If I'm drafting, I'm probably going to go Young. And I think he's a more polished guy, but I don't think you have to necessarily give up to get a great quarterback. I think that's going to happen naturally. Next game, Jets, Packers. I put this in there because we know that the Packers just got beat up by the Giants. We know the Jets are just coming off of a win over the injury-filled Miami Dolphins. But my God, Breece Hall is just looking really good at that running back position. And for that, and I feel like the Packers really just don't have an answer at the wide receiver position. I mean, Lazard's doing okay, but they just don't have that true wideout. So I'm going to go with an upset here, and I'm going to go Jets over Packers. Logan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not blaming you, Jay. I think the Jets, Zach Wilson's been, iffy, some good, some bad. But you mentioned it, that running back room. And really, it is, like I said, Breece Hall's done good. But also, let's not forget about Michael Carter. He's looked good as well.
Oh, yeah. He has.
Like I said, they got a lot of young talent. It's prospering well. Robert Saleh is trying, they're still trying to get it going over there in New York. And as for Green Bay, it is a whirlwind, to say the least. Aaron Rodgers has been playing super sharp like we all expect. There is basically not much of a receiving core beside Randall Cobb, which is crazy to say considering Randall Cobb's probably at the door in the next year or two going to retirement. And I don't really know what to think with this Packers team, man. Their defense has to carry them at some point. I mean, they lost. They've given up a lot of points to a lot of teams. And I'm going to go with the guys out there in New York. Give me the Jets to win this one.
Absolutely. And then Jonathan?
Yeah, I like the Jets in this one too. Look, I know it's still early for the Green Bay Packers to turn it around, but there's reason to be concerned about this Packers team. Their receiving room is suspect. The passing game has faltered. Aaron Rodgers looks frustrated. You could almost see the exasperating look on his face. These guys are dropping footballs. He doesn't have Devontae Adams anymore. I think he's really missing Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams probably missed him just as much as as Aaron Rodgers misses him. So yeah, I got the Jets. In recent weeks, Zach Wilson has stepped up his game. He's played a lot better. The Jets have looked better than they have been. So I got to ride with the Jets.
Okay. Rob Scott?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Packers.
Big shot, Rob.
I'm a Dolphins fan, so I hate the Jets. So I'm gonna go with the Packers in this one. They had a very tough loss in London last week against the Giants. I think in this game you're gonna see the Packers try to run the ball more with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and try to do a lot of play action pass with Aaron Rodgers. I just think they're gonna try to pound the ball more on the Jets. They're gonna be more of a running team because their wide receiver situation isn't that great, and with Aaron Rodgers trying to figure out who's who, I think they're just going to run the ball and rely on their defense. But, I do give the Jets credit. They've been playing well lately. Zach Wilson's been doing his thing. Breece Hall, Michael Carter, the wide receivers have been playing well. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Green Bay here in a close one at home. And, I think it's going to be a great game.
All right, folks. In the sake of speeding up time, I'm just going to ask you now questions, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to try this a different way now. We're going to start it off with Logan. Logan, in the Giants and Ravens game, we all know what Lamar's trying to do in this, contract year that he's in. Does Lamar, given what the Giants and how they handle the Packers, does Lamar have a huge game against the Giants?
I would hope. I think him and Mark Andrews specifically are looking very well. I think Lamar does have a good game, but I'm expecting for the Giants side, I'm expecting them to just get a bunch of yards because let's face it, that Ravens defense is not what it was in the 2000s. It is a shell of its former self. I think Lamar has a good game, but I still expect the Giants to come out with the win with this one, man. Unless the Ravens can pull out a miracle on defense, I don't see it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And then Jonathan Mathis, we're looking at the Bills versus the Chiefs, which is a huge game, as we all know. It's an AFC showdown rematch, and all this. We know that the Chiefs beat the Bills last year by 13 seconds to propel themselves against the Bengals, and then of course ultimately take the loss to the Bengals. So when you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Bills. Who do you think wins? Number one, and two, who do you think has a bigger game, Allen or Mahomes?
This is tough for me. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here, man. I think the Chiefs are riding on so much momentum right now. Travis Kelce is playing out of this world right now. Patrick Mahomes looked like he has, rediscovered himself and has done a great job leading the offense. Andy Reid always puts them in good situations. His offensive plan seems to be working really well. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Bills, and I will say the Chiefs will win by a touchdown. It's going to be a close one.
Big Shot Rob, same game. I got another question for you. We know that the Bills' defense has allowed 12 points. Kansas City's defense has given up 25. We know that Kansas City's secondary is suspect in some cases and have given up yardage. And, they are going against the Bills who have Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. And we know what both of those two guys have done so far. What do you think of this game, and who do you think wins?
It's going to be a tough one, man. It's definitely going to be a shootout. I think the Bills played them last year. The Bills beat them 38-20 and then obviously got into the playoffs. And then we all remember that 13 seconds. I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bills. Obviously, you have that revenge factor from the playoffs, but we all know if you win in the regular season, you face these guys again. If you don't beat them in the playoffs, it means absolutely nothing. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Bills. I think they're riding high off the momentum, but the Chiefs are too. Travis Kelce just had a big game Monday night against the Raiders. Mahomes is playing great. I just think Josh Allen, right now he's on a roll. He's going to get all the receivers involved. But I think they'll try to run the ball some with Devin Singletary, try to keep the Chiefs offense off the field and play keep away. They do have a very good defense as well. But I'll go ahead and take the Bills in this one. I think Diggs will have a good game. You'll see Gabriel Davis, maybe some of those other receivers, Isaiah McKenzie. The other guy, Shakur, should have a good game. And maybe also Josh Allen looks for the tight end more in this one in Dawson Knox as well. But I do expect that Bills defense to step up and play the Chiefs well. So I'll go ahead and take the Bills in this one. It's really a toss-up, 50-50. Either way, these teams could be in the playoffs, and anything can happen. I think that the regular season will have no effect on the playoffs whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely. And I do have one comment to put out there. Then we're going to move on to the next question for Logan. You should know that Allen, as a quarterback for the Bills, has more rushing yards than Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Patrick. Wow. Just let that sink in. Just let that sink in. How much more effective of a player that he is as a quarterback and a rusher. Incredible. Logan, in your estimation, all of the divisions in football, both AFC and NFC, what division of what conference is the toughest in the NFL this season so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. Obviously,
damn right it is.
Obviously, we all thought it was going to be the AFC West. Psych. That ain't it. I mean, I got to go with your boys, Jay. I think I might have to go out there to the NFC East. I mean, 3 of the 4 teams have above 800 winning percentage. Giants are 4-1. Your boys are 4-1. The Eagles obviously are undefeated. And so I got right now the NFC East as the top dog in the NFL.
Yeah. And again, I remember when they were the trash division. Now, in my opinion,
that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh, how the times change.
Times have changed. Jonathan, I want to switch gears real quick because speaking of the NFC East, and by the way, Logan, perfect tie-in to this question. Cowboys are playing the Eagles, and I have this as the premier game for the week, specifically because number one, Eagles are undefeated. That's pretty much premier. Number two is you're looking at probably, in my opinion, one of the best defenses in the league going against the Eagles' offense, which is pretty good with Jalen Hurts, Brown, Sanders, and Smith. So, and let's be honest, the Eagles' defense, they're no slouch either. We know what that Eagles' defense is capable of. And then again, of course, you got Cooper Rush that's going to get the start at the quarterback helm. Who do you have winning, and will it be a blowout for whatever team wins? That's the question.
It won't be a blowout, but here's the thing. Look, Jalen Hurts has ascended to new heights. He has elevated this team. He has stepped his game up offensively, and he has somewhat proven himself to be the quarterback to lead this team. Then you look at the defense and what the defense has done. They got a secondary with a ball-hawking defender in Darius Slay. They have a terrific defense that can dominate the line of scrimmage. Their defense has done a terrific job keeping offenses at bay. But I like what the Cowboys have done defensively. I think they've done a whole lot of things better. You look at that defensive front, and no offensive line has been able to stop them just yet. Micah Parsons is a terrorizing beast. He loves to come off the edge and pound the quarterback to the turf. He has knocked quarterbacks to the ground, has chased after them all year long. So I got the Dallas Cowboys winning this game because of their defense. And Cooper Rush has played considerably well as well. He has done enough to manage the offense for the time being. But the Cowboys will be riding behind their defense, and I got the Cowboys winning the game.
Absolutely. Hey, that's what I want to hear. We're going to roll into now the MLB playoff update. Just so you guys are tracking, like we all know, the Guardians and Yankees game was postponed today due to rain or inclement weather. I think is what they said. So we will get that game on Friday, I believe 12:30 Eastern for that. But right now, the Yankees are up on a commanding 1-0 lead on a pretty good game that was pitched by Garrett Cole, and they did get the win. I think it was like 4-0. It was a pretty good win. But the ones I want to talk about mostly in this is I'm going to start off with the Astros just because that's the one that played today. The Astros are up now 2-0 over Seattle. Seattle went out there with Gilbert in game one, and Gilbert pitched a gem. I mean, he pitched really, really well. Astros got runs sporadically here and there, but Verlander was not Verlander. Verlander, in my opinion, was just a shell of himself in that game. He gave up 2 runs, had a few strikeouts, but something wasn't right in that game for him. They went to the bullpen. The bullpen did exactly what I told you guys the bullpen would do. They played great baseball, gave up a couple of runs. I'm not gonna lie, but they played okay. But I just want to talk about my boy, Jesus Christ, Yordan Alvarez. This dude just finds ways to come up with clutch hits. And if you don't believe me, then you should have seen the walk-off that sent him into the victory column. And then today, when they needed him the most, he comes up with another key home run. But then so does Kyle Tucker. But I don't want to overlook Pena and what Pena has done, what Bregman have done as well in games 1 and 2. Again, Framber it was a great pitching game today. Framber Valdez did a really good job. Luis Castillo did a hell of a good job. I mean, all the way around. But I'm just saying, this Astro team, they don't give up. And everybody else seems to chirp on Facebook, left, right, up, or down. Jonathan Mathis, I saw you a couple of times out there chirping. I'm calling you out. But it's okay, man. Hey, it's our job to chirp. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody chirping on Facebook right now. It's a ghost town when it comes to the Stros. Jonathan, what was your thought process as you watched the Seattle-Houston going forward right now. As you know, they're 2-0 and they're one game away from the sweep. As we go to Seattle, where McCullers will most likely get the start for the Stros, I don't know who's going to get it for Seattle.
Well, it's experience versus inexperience. And the Seattle Mariners, man, they have a young team. They're not very experienced like the Astros are. And the Astros are a complete team. I mean, you could make the argument that their pitching it doesn't match the level of play of the offense. But the Astros, to me, have a great team that can get to the World Series. And we've seen what the rookie Jeremy Pena has been able to do. He's been, otherworldly this year. He's been simply amazing and fun to watch. Then you have Jordan Alvarez. They call him Air Jordan. This guy is absolutely clutch, man. He comes up in the big moments. When the team needs a big timely hit, he delivers. We saw that. But the big story in today's game was Alex Bregman, because he made the Mariners pay after they walked Alvarez. The Mariners, and I remember posting saying that the Mariners learned from Tuesday night. They put Alvarez intentionally on base, and then Bregman was the next guy up, and I think that's why Dusty Baker has the lineup the way he does, because he knows that Bregman can be that hitter to make you pay, and sure enough, he did. He made them pay. The Astros came up with the big timely hits. They're a resilient ball club. They never quit. They got guys that can hit. They got Kyle Tucker. They got Bregman. The list goes on. That team has the recipe for the World Series. They definitely have the guys that can produce in that lineup, and I wouldn't put it past the Astros. The Mariners now, they got a tough task ahead of them. They got to try to go back home and make things interesting, but that won't be very easy against a tough Astros team.
Absolutely. Logan, when it comes to the Astros and Seattle series, number one, oh my God, how's it going to feel for Seattle to get swept, number one, and then beaten in their own stadium, number two? How sweet it is. But no, seriously, my question for you is, you saw how the Astros continue to come back, even when they're down in games 1 and in games 2. Now we're going to go to game 3, where you get a Lance McCullers, who's probably got about 8 games in, coming off the IL. He's got about a 2.80-something ERA, roughly thereabouts. And he's going to go into Seattle. And like I said, I don't know who Seattle's put up on the mound right now. I don't think they've even decided it yet. But what is your prediction for game 3?
For game 3, it's a tough one. I don't want the Mariners to get sent home packing, Jay, just because it's been 21 seasons. You get there and you get swept, but it's kind of looking like it. Am I right? I know you feel that way.
Yeah.
As for the game today, Castillo pitched a heck of a ball game, right? Any other day, it would have been a decent outing. Like I said, 7 innings, 3 runs, only 5 hits, 7 Ks. That's not a bad stat line, but it's the playoffs. And he just couldn't get it done, unfortunately. The Astros lineup, besides Altuve, who hasn't even – his average is as good as ours is at 0.00. The Astros still got it done, Jay. Your boys did it. Alvarez is looking as good as ever, as sharp as ever. And I know you want that sweep, but just for Mickey Delaney's personal sanity, I can't do it, Jay. I don't want him messaging you horrible things saying, Jay, you guys cheated. That's why you swept us. So out of the love and respect of our show to Mr. Mickey Delaney, if you're watching, sir, I will give the Mariners the win tomorrow night. Avoiding the sweep, but still losing the series.
Gentleman's sweep.
Yes, there you go.
Big shot, Rob. One of the things, though, that has perplexed me when it comes to the Astros, and again, we got the wins, but one thing that's perplexed me is the fact that when you got 2 starters in your relief rotation, in Urquidy and Javier, I don't understand why. Both these starters can give you 6 innings, honestly. So if you see a starter having issues, or if you think he's not going to be able to get it right, Why are we going to, and again, I like Hector Neris. Don't get me wrong. I like Montero. Don't get me wrong. Abreu, same thing. But why are we not putting Urquidy or Javier, in these situations and letting them do their thing and then just throw the closer in at the very end? You know what I mean? I don't quite understand Dusty's reasoning. And hey, I'm not going to question Dusty, but again, what do you think? What do you think the reasoning is why we have not seen Urquidy or Javier in relief appearances in either one of these games?
Yeah, it may be that he's saving them for maybe other games, or he just doesn't want to start them right now and have them get worn out, or towards the end of the game, or pitch too many innings. He could be saving them for obviously we're all waiting for the ALCS, and we all expect it to be Yankees and Astros, so maybe he could be saving them for that series, which is probably going to be a much tougher series, which could go at least 6 or 7 games. That might be a reason. And yeah, I would say I would just probably say that, because the Mariners are obviously an easier team than the Yankees to play, so that would be the reason for me.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And again, they put in Hunter Brown too, and I'm okay with putting Hunter Brown in. Hunter Brown is, he started before and he pitched phenomenal. He's also done relief appearances and pitched phenomenal. I think he's got an ERA of around 1.5. So, these guys. I'm telling you, when I tell you this Astros bullpen is so beautiful and so sexy and so deep, it really is. It's amazing that they have what they have compared to last year. Where we were like the barren desert for relief pitchers going up against the Atlanta Braves. And, of course, that was our downfall ultimately. And the Braves got, the World Championship banner, and so it is what it is. Okay, we're going to switch just. We're going to go to a different game. Again, the Yankees played the Cleveland Guardians. They did get the win. Hector Neris was supposed to get the start tonight. He did not get the start tonight because obviously it got postponed. But Logan, when the Yankees are 1-0 right now in that series, they're going to come back Friday. They're going to kick it back up. Who do you see getting the win in that series?
In the series, I've got the Yankees, but so in a sort of a way like the Astros.
In game 2, I apologize.
And it's all good. Like I said, for the game 2. I'm going to go with Cleveland. I had them winning one game in the series. I think they could tie it up. But overall, I think the Yankees will get this series. I think that they're just too dominant. I think that they have the far better lineup. And also just the experience is also going to play a big factor as well. There is not many players on that Guardians team who have been to the playoffs. They're the youngest team in baseball, at least for their lineup. So I got the Yankees win the series, but I'm going to go with Cleveland winning game 2.
All right. Next question, Jonathan Mathis. This is going to your boys. We got the Dodgers, Padres, series tied at 1 apiece. Looks like the Padres are now starting to click. Darvish came in, and then, of course, the reliever got the win. And Machado just is looking nice right now throughout this series. Game 3 is going to be, I believe, in San Diego at this point. Do you still feel confident 100% that Dodgers are going to win this series?
I'm still confident in the Dodgers, but it won't be easy. And I never said it would be easy. I have this series scoring 5. Manny Machado has always hit the Dodgers pretty well. And now it looks like the Padres in game 2, at least from what we saw, they are imbued with a kind of quality, magical quality. And that's what we saw when they played in the wild card series. So if the Padres are heating up, it's not going to be very easy for the Dodgers. However, I am confident because I'm hearing for game 3, Tony Gonzalez is going to get the ball in San Diego. And then if it goes to game 4, you're most likely going to see Tyler Anderson. And these have been 2 of their best starting pitchers in their rotation during the regular season. So I'm not too concerned. The Dodgers, to me, have a big 3 lineup, at least at the top of their order. You have Mookie Betts, you have Freddie Freeman, and you have Trey Turner. And Trey Turner looks like he's starting to heat up right now as well. So I wouldn't count the Dodgers out just yet. But I'm also going to tell you that it's not going to be very easy, and I do think this series will be decided in all 5 games.
Yeah, I believe the same as well. Rob Scott says, "What's up, boys?" He's got the Yankees over the Braves in the World Series. Or no, he's got Yankees Braves World Series. And then he said, "Glad you're doing better, Jonathan." Hashtag beat down. Well, he must have been hit over the head if he thinks that the Yankees are going to get in the World Series. Don't tell Frankie I said that, because then I'm going to hear it all night in the chat. But anyway, yeah, I will. But anyway, Logan, real quick, and then Rob Scott, I'm gonna have you wrap this up. Logan, your Braves are going against the Phillies. The damn thing is tied at 1 apiece. The Phillies took 1, you took 2. And again, we were kind of talking about this earlier. Who do you think is going to be your Game 3 starter, and how do you like your chances against the Phillies?
Yeah, so they haven't announced a starter yet. It's either going to be Charlie Morton or Spencer Strider. Jay, like I said, we were talking a little bit before the show. We both agree that it should go to Spencer Strider in Game 3. However, if the Braves lose that game, then you can throw Charlie Morton out there for the potential elimination game, someone who's pitched in the World Series, someone who has a lot of experience. And, I mean, let's face it, Spencer Strider is going to win the Rookie of the Year, it looks like. He's been tremendous. But it is just the factor of he is coming off of a minor injury that's put him on the shelf for a small amount of time. But I would put him Game 3 against the Phillies, a team he's faced before, and see how it goes. I think that as long as the Braves can start hitting some more runs in, right? They struggled a little bit. They left a lot of guys on base these few games. As long as the bats can wake up a little bit, the pitching's going to follow in suit, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it's going to be – and Rob Scott, I love you, but if you snitch me out, I swear I will haunt you in your dreams. Rob Scott, man, listen. Let me ask you this, man. Who is more likely to win their series? The Phillies or the Padres?
Damn, that's tough. That's a tough one.
I know it is.
Answer this one carefully, Big Shot.
It's definitely a tough one. Oh, man, that is tough, bro.
Me and Jonathan are getting our DMs ready for you.
Yeah. I mean, the Braves are the defending World Series champions, so they're going to be definitely tough to eliminate. And the Dodgers have a great lineup with great pitching as well. Man, I'm gonna go with the Padres, man. I just think they have that knack. I think they want to beat the Dodgers. They know the Dodgers have been like their older brother to them. So I'm gonna say like they want to beat the Dodgers so bad to knock them out, and obviously they didn't win the NL West this year. But you know, I like this Padres team. I like the guys they have on their team. Juan Soto, you know, Josh Bell, Brandon Drury, you know, Manny Machado. Obviously, I like the pitching with Yu Darvish as well. I think this Padres team is a scary team. I saw what they did to the Mets, beat them 2-1. Obviously, the Phillies, you know, beat the Cardinals as well. But I thought the Padres beating the Mets was a little bit more impressive than the Phillies knocking out the Cardinals, if you ask me. So I'm gonna say the Padres over the Dodgers. And the Philly-Braves series, I think that's going to be a great series. It really could go either way. I'll probably take the Braves because they are the defending world champions and they'll find a way to win. I just think Philly doesn't have the experience. But if you look at Philly, man, like Jay says, what a time to be alive in Philly. I mean, you got the Phillies in the playoffs and you got the Eagles 5-0. I mean, those Philly fans are probably jumping for joy.
Oh, they got to be there. You know, they're off the rails right now.
Yeah, they're jumping for joy right now. So I know you guys just had Philly Sports Guy on. I'm sure if the Phillies win and the Eagles keep doing what they're doing, being undefeated, they'll definitely have him on again. But yeah,
I'm sure we'll get him back on. If the Phillies win this series, we'll have him back on.
But yeah, I would go with the Padres over the Dodgers, and then I'd probably still take the Braves over the Phillies.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Jonathan, in closing, and we're going to get into the last segment. When you look at a team like the Padres that have a good pitching rotation, that have good hitters, have a good coach, and they know that they are the underdog in LA. And then you give them that momentum. You give them that spark. You give them that little bit of an inch, and that confidence builds. The Padres all of a sudden can rise up and be a very, very dangerous cannon.
Yeah, I think they're already playing with all the confidence in the world after beating the Mets, right? The Mets were favorites to win that series when you look
absolutely.
at it. You know, and the Nets, they completely collapsed. They folded in the moment, and no one saw that coming. No one really had the Padres beating them. Look, this is an upstart team that won 88 games with really nothing to lose. Everyone's rooting against them, so they have that us against the world mentality. And like Manny Machado said after the game yesterday, they believe in themselves. They're going to play hard like they have all year. They're going to continue to play tough. And there's a reason why they made all the midseason moves that they made. You know, they didn't just get Josh Hader just to get Josh Hader. They got him to be that perennial closer, that stellar ace in the ninth inning to shut things down for them in the postseason. They got Juan Soto to give them that extra bat in the lineup. And thankfully they did, because we can only imagine how this team would be if they had Fernando Tatis Jr. And then they also acquired Josh Bell, who's a very underrated hitter. To me, he is. And he had better numbers quietly than people talked about. So, I mean, this Padres team is not a team to sleep on. And then you look at the pitching. You look at Joe Musgrove. They paid the guy for a reason. You know, he's been stellar in their starting rotation. You got Yu Darvish, the former Dodger, who knows how to pitch against a lot of those guys because he used to play with them. So, I mean, you know, you got guys over there on San Diego who can seriously play and who are the real deal.
Absolutely. And again, if you let somebody believe, you know, things can happen. All right, folks, we're going to move into the Eric K got sentenced to 22 years for the death of Tyler Skaggs. And this guy really was a piece of garbage. I mean, like, I didn't know how bad of a piece of garbage Eric K was until I started hearing some of the things that he was saying, even to the point of when he was convicted and what he said afterward. It was ridiculous. One of the quotes, and this is paraphrased, but one of the things he said basically was, all they see are dollar signs because he may be worth more dead than alive because he sucked. That's what he said about the family and of Tyler Skaggs. He goes on to say, I'm here because of Tyler Skaggs. Well, he's dead. So fuck him. Yeah. This is what Eric K said. They're the PR guy for the Angels. This is how bad of a person. This is the moral person, the moral compass that he had. If you know, Skaggs died from a mix of alcohol, fentanyl, and oxycodone. And basically what he was doing now was he was giving some of the pills that were fake oxycodone and lacing it with the fentanyl and then giving it out to several baseball players. Matter of fact, it was 5 MLB players that testified against him, saying they received oxycodone pills at various times from 2017 to 2019. And he was convicted of 1 count each of drug distribution resulting in death and drug conspiracy. What a time to be alive. Logan.
Yeah, obviously, you know, this was a huge story when it happened a few years ago, and I'm glad that we finally have some form of justice for Eric K now getting arrested for 22 years. You know, obviously you could always say it could be more, but he is going to be in jail for that long, and it will probably not suit him very well. So, like I said, even though I'm sure, you know, the family wishes that Tyler would be there with them, it is not the case. So hopefully they can rest a little bit easier tonight, knowing that the man who was providing him these substances is now going to be in jail for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. 22 years to be exact, unless he gets early parole, which I swear to God, I hope he does not get. Jonathan Mathis, Eric K.
He's a callous dirtbag is what he is. How insensitive of you to make those kind of comments and mock someone's family. How dare you?
Yeah.
What kind of person are you You're a very despicable human being. And as far as I'm concerned, you're in the right place. You need to be locked up. You knew exactly what you were giving these players. Shame on you. Shame on your comments. Shame on the person that you are and how you conduct yourself as a human being. Terrible, terrible. You never mock the death of someone. You never speak ill of the deceased. You're better than this. Apparently, Eric K is not better than this. Apparently, he's a sick, troubled human being who needs to be locked up. And now I'm happy for Skaggs' family because now his family can sleep better at night, knowing that they have closure, and knowing that this guy has been brought to justice and he's getting what he deserves. He can rot. He can rot for all I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He deserves to be where he's at.
You know, the interesting thing, Rob Strike, because Frankie got on to me for Rob. I apologize, man. When I get Rob's in my head, hey, look, and both your last names start with S. That's even worse for a guy who has a horrible memory, okay? But I apologize. Big shot, Rob. But again, Rob, we're talking about a guy, you know, who has no empathy, no remorse, no anything. And, you know, he's just giving these pills out to all these guys, and he knows it's laced with fentanyl. We knows it's laced with all this other garbage, and he's just giving this stuff out like candy. How crazy is that? I mean, isn't that great? I mean, it's not. I don't even know how you get 22 years. It should have been more. It should have been longer than that.
Yeah, he should have got life or
absolutely.
Probably life for 25 to life. I mean, this guy's just a total scumbag. I mean, giving all this stuff to these players, it's just horrible. I mean, come on, man. Are you trying to kill these guys or what, man? You know, I know some of these players take stuff for pain and all that stuff, but come on, you're giving out all these pills to these guys that they don't need to be taking that stuff, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Sure, they don't need to be taking that stuff, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And again, I want to point out that when the trial was going on, the families of the victim, the families of Eric K, were instructed not to make any outbursts in court once the conviction was read. And literally, when the conviction was read, you could hear a pin drop in that courtroom. Nobody said anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. Jay ain't like that. You kill somebody in my family like that, there's gonna be some outbursts of that conviction. I'm sorry, it's probably gonna happen. My emotions gonna get out of control. I'm telling you, and I'll get kicked out most likely. But you know what? I tip my hat to those relatives of Tyler Skaggs because I gotta imagine the agony of it, the emotional craziness of it, and when you hear something like that, you know. You got to imagine that, you know, emotions are boiling up inside them. And for them to be disciplined enough to hold that in, it's more than what I could do. I don't think I could do.
Yeah, I think I would have got up. I think I would have got arrested for contempt of court. I think it went off.
Because me personally, I don't know if I could have done that. We're going to get into some. Oh, by the way, rest in peace, Tyler Skaggs. Hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to Tyler Skaggs' family. And I hope, you know, that Eric K just rots forever in that cell. I really wish some other things that I can't say on air.
Yeah.
But I think we all understand, you know. Yeah. Final thoughts, guys. Final thoughts. Logan, I'm going to let you lead it off. I'll wrap up. Jonathan, you go in the middle. Final thoughts.
Yeah, Thursday Night Football just kicked off about, 5 minutes ago, give or take. The Bears are wearing some atrocity on their head. They're wearing orange helmets. I get the idea, but it don't look too fresh. They're like the Cleveland Browns. So if you like football, don't watch this. Watch the game. Yeah, we got a good weekend. NHL's kicking off again. I know you talked about it on Tuesday, but everyone's playing tonight. So we can now stake our claims, Jay. We said last year, at the end of the year, we're going to cover hockey more, and we are going to hold ourselves accountable for that starting soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's gonna be crazy. Jonathan Mathis, final thoughts.
Yeah, I see those jerseys too. They're kind of hideous when you see them.
I don't like them.
Just as hideous as the Bears' record right now, and they look like Tropicana orange juice.
They do.
Yeah, they really do. They look like Tropicana orange juice. But this was a great show, guys. I was glad to be on. I hope to come on more often. I love doing this show. This show is great. Jay, Logan, and Big Shot Rob, you guys do a great job. So it's great to be a part of this team. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, I appreciate you saying that.
Yes,
And,
sir.
man, we always appreciate having you here. Logan's going to be on a sabbatical for Saturday and possibly Tuesday. So Jonathan will be filling in with us. And I thank you for helping us, brother. And we love having you here.
Thank you, guys.
Big Shot Rock. Final thoughts.
Yeah, Logan, I just wanted to touch on your boy, Devontae Adams. I think the photographer, the cameraman that was in there that got pushed by him, I think he should have just gotten out of the way, if you ask me. I know he got pushed, but, I mean, you see a football player just lost a football game, and it was a tough game for Devontae Adams. Obviously, he had 2 big touchdowns, but they lost a tough game to the Chiefs. Just get out of the man's way. Don't stand in the man's way and let him just push you like that,
Right.
The man lost a frustrating game. It was a tough game for him. And now that the man is pressing charges, it's a misdemeanor charge against Devontae Adams, where he could be facing 6 months in jail. I personally hope he doesn't go to jail.
No.
I hope he just maybe gets fined, maybe misses a game. I don't know if that's going to happen, if he's going to miss a game. But, yeah, man, you see a guy frustrated like that, you just pretty much get out of his way. I would have just gotten out of his way. I know you're trying to take a picture and you're doing your job and all, but that's fine. But just get out of that man's way, bro. I want no part of that man after a loss like that. And I'd also like to say, welcome back NBA. We got the NBA starting up next week. Should be good. The season's upon the corner, so we'll definitely be talking NBA. And, I'm excited for the football games this weekend and the college football games as well as the MLB playoffs continuing. Like Jay says, man, what a time to be alive, man. We got all these sports going on.
Seriously, what a time to be alive.
Baseball, basketball, football, hockey just started. I mean, college football. I mean, what else could you ask for, right?
Oh, I could ask for a couple of more things, but I'll take what they're giving us.
Yep.
Hey, listen. Final thoughts, man. Listen, hey, Yankees are playing tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern, I believe it is. Tune in for that, and go Guardians. Go Guardians.
You hear that? Frankie doesn't want to hear that, though.
That's you better end the show before Frankie gets on here.
He prays God,
Hey, one more thing I wanted to say real quick. Shout out to Mr. Head 305.
Yes.
He's going to be jumping on our show really, really soon. He's just waiting on getting a microphone. Once he gets the microphone, we're going to have him on the show. He'll be giving his comments, sports picks and bets and all that stuff. So
we're going to have a big reveal for him too, Rob.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Again, if you're not familiar, I think he's Rob, I hope I said this right. UnderdogKings.com is where you can find his picks and more information on Mr. Head 305. Hey guys, listen, man. Again, so we got Yankees baseball tomorrow. We got what's tomorrow? Friday. We got, I think, the Phillies and Braves, Padres, Dodgers. I mean, we're getting 3 games tomorrow, and the Astros get a break. I think they play again on Saturday. So there's going to be a lot of baseball coming up tomorrow. So what a time to be alive for that, number one. And number two, I don't know if you guys follow the news, but I just want to say, I don't know if you got, back in 2018, and especially in Florida, Rob, I'm sure you know, the Parkland shooting occurred. Yeah. And if you keep up with the times, the trial is concluded, the sentencing is complete, and Nicholas Cruz got life. He got life. Yeah. Me personally, I'm taking him out there to a firing squad, and I'm going to take him out with the firing squad. That's just me. Yeah. But hey, that's just one man's opinion. Yeah. But again, for the grieving victims of the Parkland shooting, and obviously Uvalde and Buffalo and Colorado and all the other places in the world that have been devastated by these mass shooters. All of our hearts here at Unscripted go out to you. We think about you. We pray for you. And we hope that you can recover and heal quickly. Saturday, folks. That's the next show for us. 8 p.m. Eastern. Logan won't be here because he's gonna go do something else. I don't know. I guess he thinks he has a life, but he's gonna go do something, and it'll probably be. I'm gonna sure maybe unless Big Shot Rob maybe will be here. Frankie will probably be here. Jonathan Mathis will be here, and we'll talk some more baseball. We'll talk some more college, and whatever else is out there in the sports world. Until 8 p.m. What's that, Rob?
Jay, one more thing I wanted to say. There's a big boxing match on Saturday. Deontay Wilder taking on, I forgot the other guy he was taking on, but yeah, if you're a boxing fan, check out the Deontay Wilder fight Saturday night.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure we'll
and I believe,
be talking about
so
that.
Yeah, you got a
Gonzo,
Wilder fight coming up, and then I believe there's also a Tyson Fury fight it looks like it's in the works as well. So we should get some boxing here relatively quickly.
November, we're going to have probably Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence. So I think that's probably going to be like one of the fights of the year. I can't wait for that one. So, yeah.
Woo, Lord. I mean, I'm telling you, hey, listen, we got sports up, down, left, and right. I mean, what a time to be alive. Make sure your cup is filled, your chicken wings are on the table, and you're ready to go. So do your pregame checks. And until 8 p.m. Eastern Saturday, it's your boy Jay, Logan, Jonathan, Big Shot Rob, Mr. Head in the background, 305. Frankie, we love you. You should have been here. I know you woke up late. But until next time, y'all have a good one, man. Be out.